Hey guys, welcome back to the She Knows Him YouTube channel. I am so excited that you're here and thank you for watching this video. Today I wanted to do a get to know you video, get to know me video, because I get on here and I try to encourage you guys through my videos, and I think it's really important that you get to know the person who's speaking to you, and so I'm hoping that this is a good way for you guys to kind of get to know me a little bit better. And I asked you guys questions on my Instagram and you guys gave me so many good questions, and I was not thinking at all when I asked you guys on Instagram, and I totally forgot that my story like disappears after 24 hours. So I think for the most part I got all the questions, but if there was any like straggling kind of behind, then I don't know if I got those. So I'm just very thankful that I wrote down most of them on my laptop. So we have my laptop here and I'm just gonna read them through. So let's get into it. Number 1, how do you drink your coffee? I drink my coffee normally, okay, so this is dependent on like if I make it at home versus if I buy it at Starbucks or any other coffee shop. If I make my coffee at home, I normally just use the Keurig, or I use another coffee machine in my house because we have multiple coffee machines. I actually just got an espresso for Christmas and I'm really excited about my Nespresso machine. Normally I'll make a coffee with the machine, and then I will use the Nestle almond milk vanilla creamer, I believe. It's a newer one and it's always gone. When I go to the grocery store, it's completely sold out, so it must be a fan favorite. If I go to Starbucks, this is exactly how I order it. I say vanilla coffee with almond milk. Still tastes basically like a vanilla latte, but you're only paying like $3. So it's really great. And I honestly think it tastes better than the vanilla latte. So what is your most irrational fear? My most irrational fear, this is not irrational at all because it's terrifying, and I don't know how other people are not afraid of heights. I'm terrified of heights. I hate heights. Like if we get any higher than even a few stories, my body will actually start shaking. If you could be anyone for a day, who would it be? This is a hard one for me at first, but I would say I would love to be someone who gets invited to like the New York Fashion Week, or the CEO of like Dior or Chanel or Tom Ford for a day, and kind of just see what that life is like and get to know like the vendors and how do they run this kind of business on a day-to-day basis, and just getting to see the runway. That is like, I love it. I really love it. And so I think it'd be really cool to see kind of what that life is like for a day. Favorite beauty product? So I couldn't really choose one, so I'm gonna give you guys 3 because I couldn't decide. In my last video, I showed you guys that I use the Marc Jacobs, ew, that looks so gross, the Marc Jacobs bronzer. My 2 favorite products to use when I'm even doing my makeup is my bronzer and my mascara. And I'll pull the mascara for you guys. So I love Dior mascara. I think I've tried I take that back. I was gonna say I think I've tried every single one they have. I don't know if that's true, but I've tried quite a few of them, and you can't go wrong with any of them. They're all so good. And a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of money on mascara, and totally get that because this one is pretty expensive, but for me at least, I noticed the biggest difference when I use this mascara versus like a drug brand mascara. I don't know what it is, but it's the best. So I always invest in good mascara. If I can find it on like the Sephora website, I will definitely link it down below for you guys. And I just have to say my next favorite beauty product is definitely perfume. So I got this one for Christmas actually. It's the Coco Chanel Mademoiselle, and it smells really good. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I think the bottle is just so cute. If you could be a fly on a wall at any moment in history, what would it be? So it was really hard to pick one, but honestly, this is maybe so weird. Like some of you are probably like, what in the world? But if I had to choose one, I would choose to be on a fly on the wall at like my parents' wedding. I don't know what it is. I just would love to see like what their wedding day was like, and see my parents like really happy and in love. And my mom found this like old video of them on the day of their wedding rehearsal actually, and it was just so fun to see my mom like close to my age now, and seeing her like all in love with my dad, and they're still really in love now, but like it's just so funny to see like what they were like at that time. Long story short, I think it'd be really cool to visit my mom and dad's wedding back in time. It'd be cool. What city would you live in if you could choose any? This one was also another hard one for me, but I would have to say London. So I no matter what would want to live like around where my family is, but if all like biases aside and I just have to choose like a place, I really would love to live in London. Just because it's like one of the fashion capitals, it's beautiful, and there's just so many things I love about it. I love it. What was the last text you sent? So I actually film my YouTube videos with my iPhone, so I can't actually like pull it up and look, but I have access on my laptop, so we're gonna pull it up. The last text I sent was to my fiance Jay. Are we surprised? No. And I said, ha ha ha, oh lordy, I can't get out of this one, can I? What were we talking about? I'm not gonna tell you guys. Okay, dogs or cats? Honestly, this is a horrible question for me, and probably so many people are gonna hate this answer, but I am not the biggest pet person in the world. I do love pets, don't get me wrong. Like when I go to people's houses and they have cute animals, I'm like, oh, they're so cute, and you want to cuddle with them. And so I really like both cats and dogs. I will say I think cats are way easier to take care of, and when you go out of town, you don't really have to worry about them as much. With dogs, you like truly have to like figure out there's like where you're gonna put them if you don't want to put them in a kennel, which is really sad, but sometimes I guess people do that. Anyways, it's just a lot of work to have pets. Okay, favorite books. Somebody asked me what my favorite books were. I'm gonna be honest with you, cheesy, but number one most definitely would be God's word. It would be the Bible, no question about that. I tend to gravitate towards like the leadership books and the like self-growth, self-help, if you want to say that. Those kind of books. I like the non-fiction books. I'm not really a big fiction person, so I love any C.S. Lewis books. He is one of the greatest writers. I think, in my opinion, I think one of the greatest writers of all time. I just love him, and I am captivated by his books and the way he writes, and he just writes so deep and so well, and I love that. So I would have to say any C.S. Lewis book. One of my other favorite books is actually this book. It's called Captivating. One of my friends gave it to me, and I talked about this book I think in one of my first videos I've ever filmed. And this one's by John and Stacey Eldridge. It's really good. You ladies should read it if you haven't already. I also really love Brian Houston's books. I'm giving you guys so many examples. So his are some of my favorite leadership books because just the way he writes and just who he is, I feel like I can relate to him so well for whatever reason. And so I love reading his advice. I love reading his wisdom and how he's lived his life and all the cool things he's doing now. So anyways, that's that on books. Someone asked, what is your biggest challenge in life? I would have to say the biggest challenge for me in life, like throughout my entire life, would definitely have to be like overcoming fear of people, or feeling like I have to live up to every single person's expectations, and that I cannot be good enough for everybody all the time. You know, I'm only human, I make mistakes, and even if I was the absolutely perfect Olivia that I could ever be, even then I can't meet everybody's expectations. And so that's just something that I always have to remind myself. Someone asked, how did you and your fiance meet? We actually met in high school, which is really funny. That is probably the last place that I ever thought I was gonna meet the man that I was gonna marry. And we didn't actually date in high school. I wrote a little bit about this in my last blog, so if you guys want to check out my recent blog post on my website, you should go do that. But I definitely want to do like a video with Jay one day. I think we're definitely gonna do that eventually at some point. But who inspires you? Most recently, hands down, I love Sadie Robertson. I think she's so amazing, and I'm just so inspired by who she is and what she does, and I just think she's great. And I think all the things I love listening to her messages because she's so encouraging. What hair products do you use? So I use quite a few hair products, but I'm going to show you guys just like the shampoos that I really, really love. I love this brand. It's kind of like a weird name. I'm not sure where it's from. It's called xoxo. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. So this is what it looks like. So this is the conditioner, and this is a shampoo. I just brought this as a set. I love these products. They are more pricey, so I get them from Nordstrom Rack. Every now and then they'll have like a deal where you can get like a set, which is what I did with these. These came together for much cheaper. The prices that I paid for them are not on here anymore because they fell off. Yeah. I think normally each bottle is around $30, I think. But usually it's way better priced at Nordstrom Rack. So if you do want to try out those products, then I would go there and try to get yourself a deal. What is your current career? So I currently work for a private medical practice in the McKinney area. And what I do is I work in human resources and administration. And so if you don't know what human resources is, it's a lot like law, actually. So I didn't really know that, but I do really like it. So that's what I do currently. So next question, I was shocked at how many of you guys wanted to know my salvation story and like my salvation testimony, how I became a Christian. And obviously that's a very heavy question, and probably could do a whole video on that alone, but I will give you guys like kind of my story in a nutshell. So I didn't actually really have like one moment or like one day where I had this, like huge extravagant change necessarily. I did grow up in a Christian home, and so I kind of grew up under that influence, but my parents always made it a point that they wanted me to choose. They never forced anything on me. They wanted me to find my own intimate relationship with Jesus. And so growing up, I think I was very infatuated with God. I've found journals since I was young. Like I would, instead of writing like Dear Diary, I wrote Dear Jesus, and I kind of just like wrote out my prayers. I wrote out my thoughts to him. Like I wrote everything. But then as time goes on, we get older, and I think I definitely became a lot more lukewarm. Wasn't as much of an intimate relationship. I was not in as much of an intimate relationship with him, like I would say in middle school and high school. And then there was I came across a few different seasons of my life that truly brought me to my knees. And they brought me to my knees in a way that I needed God. Like I needed answers from him. I needed his presence. I needed his words. I needed his love. I needed his character. I needed him. And so those certain times in my life, those hard times in my life, I really just fell hard for God. Like I fell completely and madly in love with him. I wanted him in my everyday. I wanted to feel this close to him all the time. And so in these hard times of my life, I really built a deep and intimate relationship with him. I would have to say in those years, God really transformed my life. I kind of went from, knowing about God to truly knowing him and truly wanting him more than anything else, and actually desiring an intimate relationship with him, and seeking it and going for it. And now there's no turning back. I don't even know what I would do without him. So if you had fun watching this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, because that way you won't miss all my other videos that will also make you happy. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Love you.